about technology and porn in our last episode. We talk about something less depressing, like terrorism.
Yeah, less depressing. A lot of people are upset about this order by President Trump to assassinate Mr. Soleimani. And they forget that when Bill and you know, because Soleimani's really a dangerous guy, but they forget that when Bill Clinton, their you know, their pinup boy for progressivism, their pinup boy was told by the CIA and the American military, "We have eyeballs on Bin Laden. We can kill him now." And Clinton said, "No, we don't want to assassinate. We're nice people. We don't assassinate terrorists."
So
and
he was the guy
how
like...
many years later, 4 years later, what happens? We have 9/11. So thank you, President Trump, for taking one more terrorist off the planet who won't pull a 9/11 on us. Thank you.
So before we talk about all the wonderful fallout and good things and bad things, allegedly bad things, about this whole kerfuffle,
Yeah.
please, guys, make sure to share this video because apparently the media likes terrorists more than us. So if you want to put some pushback on them, we ask you to please share this video, and also please support us because we're not a multi-bajillionaire, you know, corporation that goes to stupid award dinners where we get roasted by Ricky Gervais.
Yeah.
I would like to politely ask that you just, you know, $1 a month or just a one-time donation of $10 would be incredible. We'd really appreciate it. Now, getting back to terrorism, for me, I mean, it's kind of a day in America. Oh, we kill a terrorist, you know, another good day in America. But this was different. The reaction, the more I listen to people, and I do strive to listen to both sides, like Washington Post, New York Times, Slate, all these different crazy people. None of the, I mean, they're all throwing the bone. Oh, he was a bad guy, but we shouldn't have done anything about it.
Right.
But all of them are doing this. And I mean, aside from the fact, it just boggles my mind that I've searched desperately for someone to give me a piece of hard evidence that the world would become more dangerous. Like, we're not just, you know, a meme on Facebook or Reddit, because I've seen literally hundreds of memes joking about World War III and the draft, which is stupid, which, you know, if we get, like, we're not going to go into a World War III, let alone a draft. Regardless of all that, I don't see how the world is more dangerous, yet they still act as though the world is more dangerous. I mean, you compare this to when Obama killed Osama bin Laden, which was a great thing. I remember everyone in my family was happy about it. Everyone across the aisle was happy about it. But then when Abu Bakr Baghdadi died, oh no, he killed an austere scholar. That's literally what the Washington Post reported. In their headline. And now they kill literally the great mastermind who's in charge of every proxy war. I mean, you cannot call yourself anti-war and not see this as a victory. This is a total victory. It will dramatically decrease Iran's ability to conduct foreign wars to advance its agenda. So why, other than hatred of Trump, is there any reason to not celebrate this?
Well, I mean, it's always good to question whether the president has done the right thing when they act in their unilateral capacity as commander-in-chief. I don't fault anybody from asking the question. You know, was it legitimate? Was it justified? You know, what was the probability this guy was up to no good and attacking innocent, especially Americans? So it's always good to do that. But in this case, that's a very short investigation. That's a very short. That investigation took about as long as it did for me to utter that sentence. End of investigation. This guy is a bad guy, and the planet is better without this guy. So I cannot think of anything other than anti-Trumpism, which is driving the hysteria of the left. Now they're in love with Iran. You know, it used to be just a little while ago that the Democrats were ferocious on Iran. They hated the Ayatollah, going all the way back to the Carter administration with the Iranian hostage situation. So, but now Trump has done a hat trick. Okay, he's done a hat trick. He's got himself impeached. He killed a bad guy, right? And then he's made the progressive Democrats fall in love with Iran all over again. Okay? All three of these things are going to get him elected with a landslide victory.
And it's even more confounding because don't forget, Iran is, it is backed and funded by Russia. Remember, Trump is supposed to be Putin's puppet. What's he doing killing this guy?
I bet you that Trump is going to make the progressives and the Pelosi's love Russia and love Putin. I bet he will do that.
All of a sudden, again, I mean,
he'll figure out a way.
I guess if you're not paying attention to the news, you don't care, you only read occasional headlines because it pops up on your phone, then you're buying into it. But if you pay attention consistently, I just don't see how you can get sucked into this. Literally, not 2 days ago. 2 days ago was the attack, or before he was killed, was the attack on the American embassy in Iraq.
Yep.
And
led by this guy. This guy was outside the gates orchestrating that demonstration. This guy, Salami, the salami guy. What's his name? Soleimani?
No, Salmon. I mean, that alone, aside from all, consider the fact he's the grand puppet master for all the proxy wars. He's killed over 1,000 of his own people who were protesting his regime. Literally over 1,000 people. If all that wasn't bad enough, he had tried to destroy an American embassy. That wasn't, a death sentence. I don't know what is. I don't know. Are you used to this? It's just so hard for me to fathom that people are mad at Trump for ridding the world of this wart.
It's not hard to understand if you realize that they hate this man, they hate Donald Trump, and they hate his voters. They hate you and they hate me. They hate us.
More
than
literal terrorists.
They want us dead.
More than literal terrorists.
Dead. They want us dead.
You said that already. More than literal terrorists.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I'll move on to one more thing.
Yeah.
So Trump recently made a tweet saying that he would target 52 Iranian cultural heritage sites.
Oh yeah, I love it.
No. Let me share a few facts. Secretary of Defense, I can't remember his name, announced that there was a bit of a conflation with that statement and the Pentagon. The Pentagon had no interest in targeting cultural sites.
Right.
And for those of you who also don't know, Trump specifically chose 52 because that's the amount of hostages. It's a significant number. Ooh, that's the one thing I like about conflicts with Iran is everything's all about symbolism.
52. 52 is the magic number.
Oh yeah, it's a magic number. So a lot of people are criticizing him for targeting, this is a war crime, targeting cultural sites. Now, I love history. I love the Persian culture. I think it's very beautiful, very elegant, all that stuff. At the same time, though, I really don't think well, first I want to hear your thoughts before I share mine. Go ahead, share. You have something on this.
Yeah, I mean, for the first time in my whole lifetime, with the possible exception of President Kennedy with his failed Bay of Pigs, at least he tried, but he didn't have the balls to go through with it because he pulled the air cover off the landing right at the last moment, and the landings failed. And the Cuban Americans have never forgiven the Kennedys for his lack of balls. Now we have balls the size of cannonballs in the White House, right? This guy's balls are humongo.
No,
balls.
Huge ball.
Huge. So he is just waiting for the Iranian fools to counterattack and start killing Americans. There are a lot of soft targets here in the United States, in the UK, in Europe, and you wait. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. They're going to tempt this guy. And you know what he's going to do? He's going to turn Iran into glass.
You think so? So isn't that World War III?
It's a very short World War III. It'll last about 3 minutes. Yeah.
Well, if the United States does actually launch a nuke, will that trigger more countries to launch nukes?
It could, but they have to go up against the only world superpower right now, which is, if they do, they're dead. So you got to do this calculus. You got to do this calculus. And
well, I'm asking you.
Trump has figured it out that he can bluff his way through the diplomacy, and if need be, he'll pull the fucking trigger.
That is one thing, is that the Iranians are very good at using warlike rhetoric. Americans are terrible at that. And it might be a good thing on our part. I think that's great. We don't have giant throngs of thousands of people in the streets chanting death to Iran. I think that's a good thing. I think that's a great thing. I think that speaks very much that speaks of us in our culture and we are more civil. But nevertheless, it does put the world in Trump in an uneasy position, because he did run as an anti-war candidate.
Right.
And I think that this move is fundamentally anti-war. I think this does diffuse it.
The best way to prevent a war is to kill your enemies. That's the best way.
I'm glad.
Just kill them. Just kill them.
All right, we're running out of time. Thank you so much for sharing.
Cheers, folks.
Cheers
hey,
to all.
When you get to Israel, watch out for those Hellfire missiles at the airport.
And make sure never to make an enemy of the card.